Welcome to Business Ethics Online, Fall Semester 2019, Front Range Community College. My name is Craig, and I'll be your instructor for the next 15 weeks as we navigate this thing that we call business ethics, sometimes considered an oxymoron, two words that possibly cannot fit together, even if we try. We're going to try and we're going to make it happen, so I look forward to a great semester. On your screen, you're going to see the D2L shell. When you log in, this will be the first page you come to. It may look a little different on your computer than on mine, as I'm in the instructor mode and you are in a student mode. Every Monday morning, I will post right here where an announcements, a brand new announcement will give you what chapters we're looking at. It will give you instructions to every single thing that will be due that week. It will tell you when they'll be due that week, what time, what day. I'd make it as easy as possible for you to be a success in this class. Please read through this. The video that you're watching is now right here. I just had to put that there so I didn't forget to put it in. If you didn't show up by 6 o'clock or you didn't show up, by midnight on Sunday, you're going to get dropped on Monday. So I'm just going to let you know that. If you're watching this video and it's not Monday, you're in good shape. Well, Monday the 26th of August anyway. There's some information down here that I think is important for you to grasp regarding some of the sexual misconduct, sexual harassment, et cetera, things that are kind of prevalent in our society right now. A lot of things in the news about it. And we want to make sure everybody's protected and that this is a safe learning environment. I love your opinion. I love differing opinions. But one of the things that must be done in this class is we must respect the person. Okay, I don't care what color, what race, where we're from, legal, illegal, et cetera, what gender, et cetera. None of that matters. What matters is we have 30 people in a classroom, and those 30 people need to respect one another. And I guarantee you that we're all going to differ. So let's not look at how we differ. Let's look at the things that we can learn from one another that may adjust our differences or how we perceive things that we feel differently about than others. So come with an open mind and it'll be a great semester. Okay, so I want to go over a couple of things that are very, very important. So let's go to the course materials. And under course materials, you're going to find content. Under content, you're going to find, I'm going to call it getting started. Okay. Getting started. This is something I'd like you to read. Here's your syllabus. You can download it. If you need, you can purchase your textbook right here. Purchase it online. It's a direct link to the publisher. Buy the one for $49.99 that's already marked. And you'll do just fine in this class. Excuse me. There's a course schedule. We're going to look at that real shortly here, and a graded checklist that we'll look at in just a minute. We have guidelines for our discussions. We have a reading journal guideline. We have a current issues paper that's due on, I believe it's November the 3rd or 4th, whatever a Sunday is. Here's some good philosophy websites. Just some information. If you're not sure of how to format APA and how to cite things properly in APA, this is a screencast that would actually, I go through it and show you how to use Word, Microsoft Word, and how to do all of that. Very important that it's done correctly, and I'm kind of picky about that, so I just want to let you know up front. Okay, all of that is there. So let's look at, I'm not going to open the syllabus. You can read the syllabus. A lot of stuff that's here is in the syllabus, but late policies, all of that kind of stuff is there, and you need to make sure you look at it carefully. I do want to look at the course schedule. And so the course schedule, hopefully this week it'll load quickly. Sometimes it loads and sometimes it doesn't. Here we go. Oh, it should be 219. That's my bad. I'll get that fixed. Okay, so one of the things that we want to do is first week, we have 2 discussion threads. We have chapter 1 that we need to read. Okay, there's no reading journal due this week. But you need to post in both threads. They're graded separately. Remember that, graded separately. You'll need to post in both threads by 11:59 p.m. on Wednesday. Okay? This week only, week 1 only. This will close The discussion threads will close at 6 p.m. on Saturday night. 6 p.m. on Saturday. Okay? Starting in week 2 and going through week 15, your first post is due 11:59 Wednesday. The posts will close at 6 p.m. on Friday. Once 6 p.m. hits on Saturday this week, on Friday, week 2 and 3 and on, once the post closes, 6 o'clock, the post close. You can no longer post a thread. You can read threads, and as we'll see in a few minutes, you also get graded by the number of threads that you read, so it's very, very important. So keep that in mind. So week 2, Wednesday, your discussion threads, you need to make your initial post by 11:59. Okay? We're going to have a reading journal due. It's due on the 28th. It's due on the 28th. It's on Chapter 2. There's a Chapter 2 quiz. It's going to be done on Sunday, September 1st. Needs to be done by 11:59 p.m. That's when the week stops. 12:01 a.m., the week starts, and you can see it as we go through here. Everything that you need to do, everything that is due. So the course schedule is very, very important. You'll want to print it out. You'll want to tattoo it to your forehead backwards so you can read it in the mirror every morning. However you do it, I don't care. But it's important for you to get that. Here's a link to the textbook, and I'll just show you on here real quick if it loads. There's the link. There's the textbook. Add it to your cart. Ebook with a download. Okay, from the publisher, that's the price. Add it to your cart, and it'll automatically give you access to that textbook. Okay, so important. One of the other things we want to do to make life a little bit easier for you is the graded assignment checklist. Excuse me. For some reason, there's a tickle in my nose. All right, week 1, 8/21. Your initial post is due by 11:59 p.m. Okay, so just keep that in mind. That's Wednesday night. Week 2, reading journals due by 11:59 p.m. on Wednesday the 28th. You have to post your initial post by 11:59 p.m. on Wednesday the 28th. There's a Chapter 2 quiz due 9/1. You could just print this out and just mark it off. I've done it, I've done it, I've done it, I've done it. And then come back after the end of the semester and say, oh man, I missed 7 assignments, right? However many. Okay, so it goes on to 2 pages, but it gives you all the way through. Last week of class, notice there's no journal, there's no quiz, and there's only 1 post. The rest of the semester, we have 2 posts every week. Okay, so that's the getting started. Let me talk about a couple of things, all right? Here's the online discussion guidelines. I want to talk about discussions because discussions are like going to class, right? You go 2 times a week, and when you go on campus, basically you go 2 times a week, and you get graded for participation. Well, in an online class, online discussions are like going to class, okay? Here's what I say about online discussions. Excuse me, my nose is tickling. Here's what I say about online discussions. Online discussions are not a discussion if you post all your posts on the last day the thread is open, okay? So as a result of that, you will note here that you must post on at least 3 different days if you want to get full points, okay? So you better post by Wednesday because Wednesday, Thursday, Friday makes 3 days, okay? So it's very, very important that you understand that. The thread is not open on weekends to post, but you can read them, okay? So you don't have to get them all read during the week. If you want to go in on Saturday and Sunday, you can do that. But each week, it starts at 12:01 on Monday, and it closes at 6 p.m. on Friday, except for week 1. This week, it will close at 6 p.m. on Saturday, okay? So notice that you must post a minimum of 4 posts. So every post, you must have an initial post. And other than the biography that's due, one of the discussions this week, your initial post has to be posted before you can see anybody else's posts. So if you open it up and there's no post in there, it's because you haven't posted yet. Post, and all of a sudden you'll say, oh, wow, I've got other classmates that have already started. So you must post. So your initial post is 1, and then you must respond to 3 different discussions or 3 different people in discussions, a minimum of 3. Now, you can do as many as you want. I have students that do 12, 15 a week, okay, in each thread. And each thread is graded separately. You don't get 4 posts for both threads. You get 4 posts for each thread, and you must post on 3 different days in each thread, not combined. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, you're graded on the quality of your response. So, oh, great post, I love your ideas, is not a legitimate post, and I won't give you credit for it. Okay, if you didn't have some type of critical thinking or content in your post, it's not a worthy post. Okay, so I'm going to encourage you to make sure that you give some time to your posts. Okay, so here's what it is. Posts are worth 16 out of 20 points. So each post is worth 4 points. So if you post 3 times, you're going to get 12 points. If you post 2 times, you're going to get 8 points. If you post once, you're going to get 4 points. Reading is worth 4 points out of 20. That makes 16 and 4 is 20 for those of anyone of like myself who's math challenged. And here's what you get. If you read 60% of your classmates' posts, you're going to get 3 points. If you read 22%, you're going to get 2 points. Okay? That's how the grading works for the discussion thread. Okay, so keep that in mind, and I want to run over real quickly to our weekly topics. So in our weekly topics, there we go. You're going to see this picture, and remember I said every Monday morning I'm going to put up a new thing. It won't be this week, but next week, week 2, you're going to see this gun shooting you, okay? And you'll have to wait till week 2 to figure out what that's all about. However, you're going to see that. If you come over here, you're going to see, oh, I'm in week 2 because that's what Craig posted for week 2, okay? And here it is. This is a link to the reading assignment. Okay, you can also find it on the course schedule. You can find it on the graded weekly assignment sheet. You can see it in the news article that I'm going to post on Monday morning, early before most of you are even out of bed. Some of you are just going to bed. So there's no excuse to say, I didn't know it was due. Okay, here's the reading journal. Okay, so here's where you post this. This will take you to the Dropbox. Here's discussion number 1. Here's discussion number 2. And here's a link to the quiz. Okay, it ends Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. for week 2, right? Here's week 1. So you got to see what's going on here. Let me talk about, I went to week 2 because I want to talk about this will start happening in week 2, this You Be the Prof, okay? Do not post your reading journal here, okay? Your reading journal gets posted here. In the You Be the Prof, this is where you become the professor. You take a key point that maybe meant something to you from your reading journal, something that just kind of like clicked with you, or something that you absolutely think this guy is off the rocker, the author has gone berserk, he's high on something, right? You create the question and give your classmates something to respond to, okay? You become the professor. At the end of the semester, most of my students like this journal, this question better than the one I post, okay? So just kind of keep that in mind. All right, so when you go to the discussion thread, let's click on this one. We're going to go to the discussion thread, and you're going to go in there. Here's your discussion thread. Here's what I wrote. This is my part, okay? You're going to watch this little video. You're going to respond to these 3 questions. Click Start a Thread, and it will give you the opportunity to enter a subject and post your responses. And you post them however you want to. That's kind of how it works. All right. So I think I've covered everything that I want to cover. I'm looking forward to a great semester. I encourage you to invest your time. I will say this: if you've not taken a online class before, they can be a little bit more stressful, a little more time consuming. And so as a result of that, please go through everything and make sure that you're understanding what needs to be done, and you're getting it done, and understand it's going to take a little more time, a little more effort than what you normally would do in a face-to-face class. And if you can do that, I'd appreciate it greatly. So here we go. Biographies. I'll do this real quick. We got 15 seconds. So here it is. I've already posted mine. And here's what it's going to be. I posted you. I gave you a biography. I talked about all the different things and blah 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 and blah blah blah. And then there's my adorable